Good morning, Higher Hope. This is Wednesday, April 15th, and just another check in, Higher Hope Connection for you this morning, just to see how you're doing and just to let you know that we care for you here at the church. And we hope that God is working in the midst of this time in your life. And we've been on this little section of times together on creativity. And the creativity is something we struggle with. A lot of people just don't think they're creative and don't really appreciate creativity. And I think one of the other things that we need to do is to be able to not just to be creative, but there is a part of creative versus consumption that we do need to enjoy and delight and see things from a new perspective. And part of creativity is seeing something in a different way or for the first time, or to delight in something that you haven't noticed before. And so part of raising up that part of our brain and part of what God created in us is to delight in creativity, not just in consuming it, but to find the beauty in it. The Bible talks about the verse, and this is spiritually first of all, and then it corresponds to many parts of our life. Is Jesus says, and actually Isaiah says, "Though seeing they don't see, though hearing they don't hear." And I wonder how many times we walk around in this world of beauty with our eyes shut, our ears closed, and we just don't see the very things that are in front of us. There's something that should lead us to worship when we are seeing how beautiful things are. And so I'm wondering this morning if we could just look at things from a different perspective, see the creativity in something, in a poem or in a piece of music, not just the to have it speak over to you, but also to find delight in hearing the instruments as they form together, hearing the chords as the guitar plays, hearing the guitar licks, hearing the drums and its rhythm, and how we can enjoy not just the music words and how it interact, but also the beauty of how it's put together. A piece of art, the creation that God's made, a movie. You know, when I watch a Pixar movie, what I have found is I love to see their creativity, the storylines and the artistry and the conversation and the humor that's geared toward adults that kids will never get, and yet it's still connected to the kids. Like when you're watching Monsters Inc. or Toy Story, how much is really related to an adult? It's in my mind, it's brilliant, and I enjoy those stories. I enjoy watching a good storyteller. A good movie, not just for the movie's sake, which is really good, but also the way they tell a story. I love a good book. I love a book that has some unique, not just the storyline and how it proceeds, and whatever story I'm reading, but also how it flows together, how the writer crafts it. I'll just tell you a few things about what I try to do. Sermons to me are part of my art. I'm trying to share God's truth, and hopefully we do that in whatever art form that we're doing. We're sharing something about who God is in that. It's part of the worship that we do. And sermon is not just a message. It's also, to me, it's also my art to God, and to be able to look at other messages and other sermons and to be able to look at it and say, oh, that's brilliant how they put this illustration in, and how they went from A to B, and how they introed and how they landed the plane, and so there's just so many things as we get into our world that has creativity to it, that I think not only are we supposed to create, but we're supposed to learn from and enjoy the creativity of others, like strokes, and I don't know if we really appreciate it unless we're really creating ourselves. And so my thought for you today, my practice that I'm trying to encourage you to do is see, look. Some of the funniest things that you'll find, some of the funniest comedians are simple, and they just find things in their life that are funny, that that make them laugh. But most of us would ride right by it. Maybe it's a musical thing, but find some things that you just find artistically amazing, and just delight in it. And it will raise your level of worship and adoration of God, and it will bring more joy to your life. And I hope that you're not blind to the very things that God has allowed you to enjoy.